Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport 7. Today we're taking a look at the 1970 Alfa Romeo Montreal. Now this is a 2+2 coupe that was produced from 1970 to 1977, and it was styled by Bertone, and only 3,900 were built, and it was also more expensive than the Jaguar E-Type and Porsche 911, which is hard to believe once you start looking at the performance parts of this car, but we'll take a look around it first. So yeah, as you can see, it's got those two seats in the rear, which don't look all that useful, quite frankly. You'd have to be pretty small to get inside of them, I think. But interior wise, it's pretty nice. It's got nice gauges, which I think Alfa Romeo used for a long time afterwards, with, you know, the two different instrument clusters. And yeah, the rest of the interior is perfectly fine. It's exactly like you would expect from the 70s. And yeah, pretty practical as well, even though you can't actually look in the boot on this game. Glass cover would reveal a boot cover that would also open up to more luggage space, so decently practical. And yeah, but the thing that sets this car apart most from other sports cars of that time is the engine. And it's only a 2.6 litre V8 engine, so a very small cubic capacity V8, and it produces 200 horsepower, 174 pounds-feet of torque, which is pretty decent from a small V8, quite frankly. And yeah, also doesn't weigh all that much as well, at 2,810 pounds. So even though it doesn't have all that much power, it doesn't have all that much to lug around as well. And one thing I do like about this car is these grills above the headlights, which when they fold away, as you can see, reveals the headlights in their fullest. So yeah, that's pretty unique, and so's the engine. But apart from that, there wasn't really much else to set it apart from other sports cars from that time. It was only a few years after the likes of the Miura and the E-Type, which, you know, were far more radical in their design and far more different to sports cars of that era. But that's probably why this car struggled to sell as much as it did. Even though it lasted until 1977, they weren't actually producing it up until that year. Final few years, they were just trying to shift their final stock, and they struggled to do that. So wasn't as much of a sales success that Alfa Romeo would have liked, but it's a pretty unique car in its own right in certain aspects, and it's a pretty nice car to drive as well. So we're going to take it out there and see what it can do. So we're at the Road Atlanta Club Circuit. Going to take this car around for a couple of laps, see what it's made of, and yeah, let's talk some more about it. So being quite a small cubic capacity V8, really doesn't sound like many V8s from that era, quite frankly. But yeah, it was a shame that this car didn't sell as much as it should have, but I guess it just styling wise or performance wise just wasn't, you know, so radical that it just couldn't shift. When you look at this compared to like the Miura, the E-Type, like I said, and then a few years later the Countach, the kind of stuff Ferrari were producing as well. Just kind of probably got lost in the mist of all those cars. But, you know, I'm so glad it's back on the game. This was last in Forza Motorsport 4, so it's been a long time coming back in the Forza game. But I am wholly glad that it is back. It's one of my favourite cars from that game. I think I listed it in my top 10 cars to return, so wholly glad that it has made a return. And yeah, wholly recommend trying it out, because no, it's not the most powerful from that era, no, it's not the most iconic from that era even, but it is one of the more you know, less well known cars out there. And quite frankly, I wish they'd put more lesser known cars like this out there from the 60s and 70s, quite frankly. But yeah, performance wise it's pretty good. 0 to 60, 8 seconds, 0 to 100 in 21.2 seconds, and it'll go into a top speed of 147 miles an hour. Now you will remember that I said that this car costs more than the likes of the Porsche 911 and the Jaguar E-Type, which probably didn't help either, because the E-Type, even from 8 years ago before this that we have on this game, was faster in terms of acceleration, and it was slightly slower in terms of top speed. And then that Porsche 911, yes, we only have the most powerful version of that car from around this time, the Carrera RS I think it is, but even that, with only slightly more horsepower and slightly more torque, is also quicker than this in terms of acceleration. But these have both around the same kind of top speed, so yeah, I can perfectly see why this didn't shift as many as it should have done, or Alfa Romeo would have liked, but nonetheless, that doesn't take away from how good this car is, quite frankly. Yes, it does roll around a little bit in terms of the corners, but it can hold that power as much power as it has, it can hold it. And it certainly doesn't have the unpredictable handling of the Porsche 911, which I took around on this course earlier, and the front end was lifted and the rear end was, you know, coming out of step. And yeah, it was just generally unpredictable, and that E-Type was even worse in terms of predictability, because the rear end would just snap at times. And even though it had more power than this, it didn't really feel all that much quicker. So yeah, a solid all-round car. I'm fully glad that they've brought it back for Forza Motorsport 4. And yeah, it's just another one of those cars that have been brought back from old game that I am glad that they have done. Just a shame they didn't do more of those cars, because my top 10 was, yeah, only a couple came out of that top 10 that I suggested. Not that I was expecting Turn 10 to listen, but it would have been nice to have more. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.